Record. You should have gotten a notification that we're recording now. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to shoot the hosting privileges over to you, Maddie, and you can share your screen.
Alrighty. All right. Let me share my screen.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Bree. Okay.
Let's see. All right, let me just let this load. All right. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to navigate through New York City. Did you know that the New York City subway system was founded in 1904? It had 28 stations then, and it now has 472. I am one of those people who love New York City, and I visit there multiple times a year. I was once nervous to conquer the city, even with the help of my parents. Over the past couple years, I've been able to learn and understand the city. I have a couple tips for those who are interested in learning more. Those tips include how to navigate the New York City subway system, how to navigate the streets of New York City, and how to ask for help. After these steps, I hope you become comfortable with the city and maybe even conquer it one day. The first point I represent is how to navigate the New York City subway system. The first step in navigation is understanding and knowing how the subway system is organized. You can do this by looking at an MTA map, which is this visual right here. MTA stands for the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, and it's responsible for all the public transportation in New York City. This includes like buses and subways. They have free downloadable maps on their website, and they also provide maps at almost all of the subway stations. And this is an example of Manhattan map. And that link is also to the maps. On those maps, you'll see express trains and local trains. Express trains are marked with the white dots, and local trains are marked with the black dots. Missing the local trains makes the express train because it has less stops. However, the local train stops at both the express stops and the local stops. If you'd like to transfer another station from the local train, look under the station name on the map for a list of trains that can be transferred to and from. So for example, under the local train, it has one, so that's the one train. On this map, these transfers are represented through connecting black lines, which I use the green arrow to point to. Knowing where you are going next is important and can make or break the time that you have. The next step in navigation is to plan your route ahead of time. Online tools such as the MTA's Trip Planner will calculate the best route, factoring in delays and service charges. This is the Trip Planner, and this is the URL right here. Also consider the timing of your trip. Subway trains arrive frequently, about every 2 to 10 minutes, and these minutes can go by very fast. Just be prepared to always be on your feet and always be aware of your surroundings. It can be challenging to understand the subway system at first, but understanding how to travel properly and safe is most important. Since there is a fee to travel to the subway station, another way to prepare for your trip is to purchase a Metro card ahead of time. In 1904, when the first subway was built, it cost about 5 cents to ride the subway system, and now it costs $2.75 per ride. So at the entrance of most subway systems, you'll see a kiosk that looks like this, and you can purchase Metro cards and single ride tickets. You are given a couple options. You can either buy a single ride ticket, a loadable Metro card, or a 30-day Metro card. These all vary in price, and they go from about $20 to $112, depending on how much you want to put onto it. Once you have the Metro card, you simply just swipe it when you walk into the subway system, and it'll lock in that station, meaning like if you swipe it and you don't actually want to go there, you can't get your refund back, so choose wisely. The second point I will present is how to navigate the streets of New York City. The first step in navigating the streets is understanding how the streets are numbered. So odd number streets go west, and even number streets go east. Fifth Avenue splits these by east and west. For example, if you look at this map of Manhattan, you can see the grid of streets. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's a little pixelated, but on the right side of Fifth Avenue, which is right here, the streets are labeled E for east, so that's on the right side, and on the left side of Fifth Avenue, the streets are labeled W for west. So you can also see that going from right to left, the streets are labeled 1st through 11th Avenue, all ending in Avenue, and going up to down, the streets are labeled 1st to 130th, and these all end in streets, so like West 65th Street. So in simpler terms, All avenues run north and south, and all streets run east to west. Now, I understand this is a lot of information to take in, and it's kind of hard to understand if you're not there firsthand, but when traveling, I can tell you that this does in fact help when traveling. The second step to navigating the streets of New York City is understanding how the addresses are labeled. For example, if you know an address and you want to know what other street that address intersects with, this is the formula that you use. So you take the building number from the destination across, drop the last digit and divide by 2. So for example, if you use this cross street finder, I'll just use 800 8th Avenue, for example. If you divide 80 by 2, that equals 40. And then according to this, 8th Avenue, you add 9. So you would add 9 to 40, and that equals 49. So 49th Street is the cross street for that. And I know that that is also confusing, but if you look right here, it's really simplified. This can also help you understand how to freely navigate the streets if you just know the addresses. And then in New York City, there are 1,700 parks, playgrounds, and recreational facilities. There are also multiple landmarks and streets that are popular. But when traveling around the city, it can be easy to look for familiar landmarks, including bridges or even the Statue of Liberty. Knowing where bridges are can help you determine where you are. Another important to know while traveling is where you are. So there are 11 different neighborhoods within just Manhattan. Each of them are kind of like a district or a neighborhood, and it makes them easier to recognize because they're all so different. My personal favorite is Soho, or south of Houston. It's a district that housed a lot of artists in the 1970s. The buildings were almost all commercial warehouses with a lot of unusual cast iron features, so I thought that that's really cool. There are a lot of shops and random eateries, and I think it makes it very unique. A couple other examples are Chinatown and Little Italy. These are very popular. Chinatown is very popular. All of these neighborhoods have distinct features and that set them apart from each other. So you don't need to memorize all these places and landmarks, but it's good to know where you are at all times. The third point I will present to you today is how to ask for help. As of 2018, there are 8.4 million people in all of New York City, with Manhattan being the most densely populated area. In 2018, there were also 65.2 million tourists in New York City, so that's just in 1 year. And that is a lot of traffic in a small area. But how do you find somebody credible enough to ask for help? A New York Times article titled "How to Ask for Help and Actually Get It" in New York City. The author Tim Herrera creates a list for those who want to ask for help in such a big area. His first step is to make sure the person you want to ask realizes you need help. Most people in New York City can tell that someone is a tourist. Most tourists look like they need help, so this step can be made easy if you look like a stereotypical tourist. And I probably do in this picture on the left because I'm posing in Times Square. Make it apparent that you need help, whether it be for directions or for the nearest subway. The second step that Herrera states is make it clear that the person you want to ask understands your desire for help. So AKA ask for the help that you need. This is important. I've learned while traveling in New York City to not be afraid to ask for help. Almost everyone understands what it's like to need help, so simply ask for what you need. The last step is to make sure the person you're asking is available to help you. It would be hard to answer a question while you're rushing to work or late for a subway train that has already passed. So if you need help, make sure to ask for it. After all, it's easier to find your way if you ask someone along the way. And traveling around the city can be scary for those who have never been. I was once there and I was once scared too. But after gaining knowledge and learning from my mistakes, I found a couple pointers that have helped with this anxiety that I had in the beginning. So today I talked to you about how to navigate the New York City subway system, how to navigate the streets of New York City, and how to ask for help in a big city. With the steps I provided, I hope that I can help you tackle your fears of conquering the city and face it head on. Thank you guys for listening to my speech, and I hope to see you in the city. This is one of the things that I have. It's from FIT. It's that one college that I visited. That was the last time I went to New York City, so I definitely miss it, but thank you guys for listening.
Yay, Maddie! Oh my gosh. Did you go and apply to FIT?
No, I was going to, but with like like my stepbrother's in New York City right now. He's going to Fordham.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really jealous, but I was going to apply, but then I realized I didn't want to be there when a whole pandemic was going on, so I decided not to go there this year.
Oh my gosh. I, after my freshman year at UMass, I went to registration at FIT so I could be closer to home. And I thought I was going to go into, I think they had toy design. I thought that might be a fun avenue to explore. And I got into the space. Now I came from Western New York, you guys. Total fish head with my tie-dyed shirt on. I got into line and I was like, I'm definitely out of my element here. Everyone looked like a supermodel.
Yeah,
So, but I
I'm proud of
appreciate
still.
that. Yeah. And it's fast paced. You know, I think what a tremendous speech. You gave us some really great information. I think hopefully everybody learned something, because even as a city dweller and someone who grew up in New Jersey, who frequented the streets of New York City, I learned some stuff too. That whole formula for how, I never knew that. I didn't even know that was a thing you could figure out. That's so
I
cool.
know. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, nice
I love
job.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will say, why don't you just throw the hosting privileges right over to Kenny? And thank you, Bree, for that info. And Kenny, the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
All right. Do I have it yet? Nope, not yet. Okay. Gonna share my screen. It's not letting me share my screen. Just a second. Okay. I'm just gonna send the link of my visual if they want to look at it. It's not really that important, but for whatever reason, it's not letting me share my screen. Okay, there's that. Okay, today I will be talking about digital audio workstations. I'll start with the question. Have any of you heard of these programs? Audacity, Reaper, Logic, GarageBand? If you have an iPhone and like music, you've probably messed around in the free version of GarageBand once or twice. These are all examples of DAWs, or digital audio workstations. I'm Kenny Lasecki, and today I'll be talking to you about 3 of the programs that I have used throughout my 5 years of working with audio programs to record music with my friends or on my own, and hopefully take some of the mystery out of what these programs do. First, I'll explain what DAWs do. DAWs are basically programs that you can record audio or MIDI into and edit however you want to, basically. Possibilities are endless in these programs. They're very powerful. You can change how like a clap sounds and make it sound huge. First, I'll be talking about Audacity. This is the first program that I used when I started to get interested in audio back in 2015, I believe. I'll start with a quote. Audacity is a piece of sound editing software that is widely known for being open source, free of charge, and offering cross-platform compatibility. Because it is free, however, there are some drawbacks. Generally, Audacity is not as robust and polished as some other professional sound editing programs, and there are some bugs in the software that can cause it to crash unexpectedly. I've had a lot of experience with this program. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It will crash a lot. It's very basic. You can't do very much with it. You can't edit in real time. Like if you want to change how something sounds, you have to change it, go back and listen to it. It's really annoying, but you can get some quality recordings with it. My friends and I made a whole Christian music cover EP that never saw the light of day, but we made that entire thing in Audacity. There's pros and cons to the program. It's free and accessible. You can download it within like 10 minutes. You don't have to get any additional software or anything for it. But it is very limited and it does crash a lot. Second, I'd like to talk about Reaper. I stopped using Audacity because I got something that would not work to record what I wanted to do with Audacity. So I had to look at different programs. And I found Reaper. Reaper is a complete digital audio production application for computers, offering a full multi-track audio and MIDI recording, editing, processing, mixing, and mastering toolset. You can get the free version of Reaper and evaluate it for 60 days for free. After that, it's $60, which is a very low price. But it's a lot easier to use. You can do a lot more with it. You can edit in real time. It does everything that Audacity can do, but just better. Back when we had to switch to online classes back in the spring, we were using a program that was it's a very expensive program called Pro Tools, but that's only on the computers they have here and not very accessible. So we had to use Reaper for teaching. And my audio professor, Matt Eastep, showed us all how to use that program, which even though I've been using it for a couple of years, I learned a lot from it. We even had to produce a song using the program, given stems and audio from one of his previous students, and then we presented them at the end. It was a lot of fun. Finally, I'd like to talk about Logic Pro X. Logic Pro X is the most advanced, sophisticated creative tool for professional songwriting, beat making, editing, and mixing, built into a modern interface that's designed to get results quickly and also delivers more power when it's needed. Logic Pro X includes a massive collection of instruments, effects, loops, and samples, providing a complete toolkit to create amazing sounding music. I love this program. It's very flexible, very powerful, very easy to use. I got the hang of it within a few days. I haven't found any cons to it, but there are a lot of pros. But it has not crashed on me once. It's very stable, and I've been able to get some great mixes out of it. In conclusion, today I talked to you about 3 DAWs that I've used in the past 5 years. I hope you learned something about what DAWs are and what they're used for. If you have a project for school in which you need to record an audio, I suggest using Audacity because it's free and easy to use. If you're a musician or sing and want to start recording your own music, I suggest using Reaper or Logic. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a nice day. And if any of you do want to start using Audacity or any of these programs, I'd be happy to help you learn how to use them a little bit. Thank you.
Nice work, Kenny.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, and there we are. That was it, you guys. How fast.
And
Okay.
my PowerPoint that I couldn't show, it's just screenshots of what each of what a project in this program looks like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people inside of it, so thank you for that. Okay, let me just look. I guess I closed out our course here. I was trying to see what is on. This thing keeps making me sign in over and over again. Stay with me before you head out, folks. I know we're at class time, but I want to make sure that we know what next class looks like. We'll get started right away since we covered all of that stuff, and now we know how things, kind of the rhythm for this. We will get started right at the start of class. Presentation time being 11:05, just so we have enough time to do the quote and then let people take control. So it looks like we got through Kenny. So Cassie, Joshua, Cole, Brianna, and Macy should be prepared. Charles, you'll probably get pushed to the next date. I'll revise this, but everybody else should be prepared to go next class. Okay? All right, my friends, have a lovely day. Thank you for such awesome information today. You're doing a great job on these speeches. Bye.